Hello folks. I thought I'd do a video. Well, I'm going to do a series of videos actually. Valentine's have kindly sent me some clay to sort of work through and see what it's like. And one of the first clays they've given me is some Delta Stoneware. Yeah, it all sounds very impressive, Delta Stoneware, but basically it's a grogged buff clay, basically, and apparently it's good for throwing. It's freezing here, by the way. It's freezing. In fact, it's so cold. I made these bowls. I made some bowls out of it about a week ago, and they're still not dried out yet to turn. So I'm waiting for them to dry out. But and then what I thought I'd do is over the course of the next couple of months, I'll show you the different sort of varying sort of levels of process, and then you can determine which clay that you kind of prefer to use, really. So we're going to start off with Delta Buff. And now when I get a new clay, I often do a couple of things with it to test it out. I mean, I'm a thrower, obviously. I say obviously, I am a thrower. And there's a couple of shapes that I do. I like to make a bowl. One, because you get that wide sort of rim with a kind of a narrow foot. Obviously, that's a bowl shape, and it helps me to sort of figure out the strength of the clay. And also another thing I do with it is I like to make a traditional jug, and again I'll show you why. It's really cold. I use hot water in the winter. It's best. And the reason why I make a traditional jug is because there's loads. You're really giving the clay a lot of welling. You're really sort of exploring the strengths and the boundaries of the clay on the wheel, and it's because you're kind of changing the direction of the clay to form the shape of the traditional jug, really. Here's some I made earlier, as you can see, and it's just a good way of judging the strength of the clay. So I'm kind of opening it up.
You know, everyone's going to want to know the weight of the ball.
Oh yeah, yeah, 4.5 pounds. This. It's about 4.5 pounds of clay,
and what's that in metric?
You know what? I really don't know. About 2 kilos, I think.
I am joking, but well done.
Yeah. And this clay is slightly grogged. It's nice and plastic though. It's a nice throwing body, and you know, I often say, you know, individual clays, they have different personalities, and those different personalities obviously give you different results. And so I'm just sort of throwing, as I say, this sort of traditional jug shape. And as you can see, I'm forming it now, and just by definition of the jug shape itself, you're really having to change the direction and the form of the pot. So here you go, I'm sort of bellying it out now. Then I need to come in with that shoulder, and this is when you can really sort of determine the kind of strength of the clay. And as you can see, I'm throwing up to the rim there. Now with a traditional jug, you always make your rim as you collar it in, and then you throw right underneath the rim, because you need that rim to give you that lip of the jug right at the end. So yeah, it's a fairly decent clay. I've been reliably informed by Valentine's that the grog in it is a 40 mesh sieve. So it's quite coarse. But because of the ball clay, it comes across as quite smooth. So, you know, traditionally when you throw with a grog clay, you've got more of a lifespan with it on the wheel. It won't collapse as easily because it's got that grog in there, which really strengthens the clay. But I mean, I suppose the main thing with this kind of clay with a grog in it is that the kind of finish that you get when you fire it, which hopefully, if my pots dry out in the freezing cold, I'll be able to sort of show you later on down the line when I start doing a bit of firing. So there you go. I mean, there's your traditional jug shape. Just giving it a little bit more finesse. Then I'll stop that wheel. I'll pull up, and this is quite interesting as well, because when I pull up to make the actual lip of the jug, you can sense through your fingers the coarseness of the clay, or indeed the smoothness of it. It all depends, and you know it's fairly smooth. You get quite a nice finish on the clay, as you can see. And then again, because the grog is not too heavy, you can actually get quite a nice sort of lip on there, a nice finished sort of smooth lip. There you go. Just do that. And then I always do that now. Never used to. I always do that now. And then you wire it off. And again, it's, you know, it's fairly strong still. You know, that shoulder isn't collapsing. So that's kind of your Delta clay. Now, the great thing about it is it fires to about 1120 to 1280. So it's got quite a large sort of firing band, which is brilliant. And as I say, hopefully at some point I'm going to fire some later, and you'll be able to see the kind of results, that reaction with maybe possibly just a simple white tin glaze. But there you go. Oh, and another tip: if you've got a freezing workshop, what I tend to do now, always sit on some bubble wrap. It really does warm your bum up. It's the pockets of air, and you sort of warm them up with your bum, and it's like having a heated cushion. It's really handy. Anyway, that's it.